What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Next Gen Pod. With you is your host, Arnie Imana, and we got Joe Tipton and Jamie Shaw of On 3 Rivals. Guys, how you feeling today? Joe, how's your week going so far?
Going good, man. Going good. Had a couple commitments yesterday, and now looking forward to chatting with you guys and chat some basketball, college basketball. March is getting closer, and it's an exciting time.
Yeah, it is an exciting time. We're getting into March. Conference tournaments are starting to happen. The NCAA tournament obviously happens in March, so it's a really exciting time. And then high school basketball, we're getting towards the end. We're getting to playoffs as well, and guys are starting to figure out where they're going to go. So it's a really great time. Jamie, how you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I had jury duty early this week, Monday, Tuesday. Took a large part of my day. That's excruciating if you've never been for jury duty and then to end up, the trial settled while you're in there in the jury waiting room and all this type of stuff. So fortunate to not have any more jury duty, but also jury duty was not a lot of fun. So happy to be back and see y'all's beautiful faces and talking hoops.
Yeah, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Jury duty is awful. It is awful. So let's get into it. We wanted to do a discussion today about the best players in college basketball in each position. So this is really more just not NBA draft translation or NBA translation, more just college basketball, the best players in each position. So we're going to go obviously point guard, shooting guard, small forwards, power forwards, and center. We're going to do at least they had to play 70% of their games. Kind of like a little bit like the NBA. I think 65. It was 65. They have to play the 82 to be in the awards. And I think that's close to maybe 80% of the games. But here we're asking for at least 70%. So that's like 18 to 20 games they have played. Because I think right now guys have played at the max 26. So with these, we're naming guys that have at least played 70% of their games so far. And we're going to go by each position. So, Jamie, we're going to let you have the table. We're going to start you off with who do you have as the best point guard in college basketball?
The point guard position was one to kind of look into, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to personal preference. At least it did for me. You have a lot of guys at the point guard position in college basketball that are just playing really dominant. For me, if I'm starting a college basketball team and I get my very first pick of a point guard, Tyler Tanner at Vanderbilt's the guy that I'm taking. I think that Tyler Tanner is the best point guard in college basketball at the point of attack, both on the offensive end and the defensive end of the floor. I think his quick hands, his feet, I think he's a terror on the defensive end, turning the guy in the backcourt. Leads the SEC in steal percentage at 4.3. But then also, too, he's consistently putting relentless pressure on the front of the rim. I think he gets downhill with a quickness. He doesn't need a screen to collapse the defense. I think the decision-making that he makes within the teeth of the defense really puts a ton of pressure on the opposing team. So I think his ability at the point of attack to make you uncomfortable on both sides of the floor, I think is really unique within the college game. Because you look throughout the landscape, you see a lot of guys that are really good on offense, a lot of guys that are really good on defense. You see a lot of guys that, they can shoot the ball and all these type of variables. But for me, when it comes to Tyler Tanner, I think the winning intangibles that he brings of being able to put pressure consistently at the point of attack. He's also shooting 37% from three and all that. Make decisions, collapse the defense, make a decision. But also get to the front of the rim and really make a play. That's the guy that I want on my team if I'm starting one.
Yeah, Tyler Tanner was it was in my guys the note of that I would put and as the best. For me, I have Acuff. I really like how he's been playing so far in this freshman season. 21 points, 6 assists. I think it's like 50, 43, 79 shooting splits. He's been having an impressive season at 6'3". He can really get to his spots. He scores it. He's shown that he can play some off the ball with his catch and shooting. I think what he's done so far this season for Arkansas as them being a top 20 team in the country. 6'3", strong build. He's shown that he can win at this level, and his stats have been super impressive. So for me, I have Acuff 1. It was close for me though, because it was like him, Tyler Tanner, Jeremy Fears, Braden Smith. I'm a big fan of Braden Smith. Just his career at Purdue, how he's led them, deep in the tournament and stuff like that. He's having a fantastic season, even though his stats may not look like spectacular. He's averaging 8.8 assists a game. But those were the 4 that I kind of had. in mention, but A-Cup to me, just the freshman season he's having, and with his size and his scoring ability and his ability to get to spots, I have him number one point guard in college basketball. Joe, who do you have?
Yeah, Braden Smith is my point guard. I had a pretty tough time going through the list because I was also looking at guys like Acuff, even Bennett Sturch, Tyler Tanner, all were kind of the guys that I was looking at. But I just think with what Braden Smith means to this team and how important he is, and like you mentioned it, 8.8 assists per game, the second highest in college basketball behind Jeremy Fears. I think there's guys that are, maybe more of a scoring threat, like you mentioned Acuff, like I would be more fearful of him, scoring on me and like trying to stop him defensively. But I just think like overall, Braden Smith and what he's done for 4 years at Purdue, like you said, carried him into the tournament, and he's just such an important piece to this Purdue team. And so he's my PG.
Bennett starts who you mentioned as well. He's been having a fantastic, like this stretch of games he's been playing. He's been playing really, really well. Jamie, I'll talk about how Bennett has even elevated his game the second half of the season, and how he's been able to do it.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, Bennett Sturts was a D2 guy. Last year, he was a mid-major guy at Drake. Now he's coming up to be a high major player at Iowa. Obviously, that's an incredibly difficult league. There's a lot of athleticism and physicality that goes within that league. Playing at the point of attack, especially with the usage that he gets playing for Ben McCollum and his point guards, the minutes played plus usage that he gets, there was an adjustment period coming through. Now he's just playing freely. He can shoot the basketball. He's every bit of 6'3", 6'4". He's crafty. With his ability to get to spots, he knows where he wants to go within the flow of the offense, and he knows the reads out of those areas on the court. He's also getting help from his teammates now. Their spacing is becoming available. Also, when it comes to that Iowa team as well. Another point guard also too that I was kind of looking at. I don't think it's quite there yet within the flow because is Quadir Copeland at NC State. I think Quadir Copeland at NC State has really, really, really taken his game to another level, especially when it comes to league play and everything. 6'6" lead guard, really, really knows how to run a team, and he's kind of the catalyst as to what's keeping this NC State team afloat for that. But for me, I looked at all those guys that y'all did as well. For me, though, Tyler Tanner was the runaway decision. I thought when it comes to starting a point guard for this for this.
Quadir Copeland, his season really has to be mentioned because the expectations for him, he was expected to be the starting point guard, but I think that there was other guys that NC State thought was going to kind of take on that lead role, like as a scorer, as the lead play, like kind of the lead playmaker. And Quadir just came in like, hey, listen, this is my team. He runs show. I was there at the SMU game where he had like 7 points, 15 assists, 11 rebounds.
Yeah,
I'm crazy. Like he's impacting winning without having to score the basketball
with no turnovers too.
With no turnovers, yeah, like it was crazy. I mean, he doesn't really have a jump shot, but he gets to that paint. He uses his size to his advantage. He's creating plays for others.
He's awesome at deceleration too. He gets in the paint and decelerates. He keeps you off balance, and his off balance steps and everything are quirky. But he's always able to get a clean look, no matter how collapsed the defense is. He sprays the ball defensively as well. I mean, he gets in the passing lanes, guards on the ball. He's just become an absolutely true factor for this NC State team, and a big reason as to why this NC State team is looking like an NCAA tournament type possibility as well. LeBaron Philon's another player that I don't know. I don't think we mentioned, we might not have. He was my number 2 guy. LeBaron Philon was. His offensive ability that he has, I think, is just uncanny. Obviously you have Darius Acuff's offensive ability as well too, but I think LeBaron Philon, I trusted a little more toward winning.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense. I've been really just impressed with how Acuff has been this season. Regardless of what people think from the NBA translation, I just really loved how he's been playing and how he's been someone that they depend on even in late in games, to lead them to victory. So I just think he's really impressive as a freshman, and he has very solid positional size. So let's go into the 2 guard spot. Obviously, I talked about it earlier. The guy has to play 70% of his game, so Darren Peterson will not be in this. So for me, I have Keaton Wagler. Keaton, who was really playing a lot on the ball for Illinois when Boswell was out. I still think he's more of a 2 at this stage. That I think down the road you're going to see him play a lot more on the ball in the NBA. But he's just been super impressive the way he's been able to score the ball, his playmaking ability, his positional size. I mean, Keaton, we seen the 30-point explosive games. We've seen the shot making. We've seen the play making. We've seen his ability, even though he's not a great athlete, but we still see him how he's crafty enough to kind of get to his spots and attack closeouts and stuff like that. So, big Keaton Wagler fan. I have him as the best shooting guard in college basketball. Jamie, who do you have in that position?
This one came down to two people for me. It came down to Braden Berries and Emmanuel Sharp. Both of these guys, I think with Braden Berries especially, he is the best player on arguably the best player, or arguably the best team in the country. He's the guy that they get the ball to down the stretch. He's the guy that they look to create the offense. A guy who is 6'4", 6'5", long arms, very strong physical frame. He can dribble, shoot, or pass to an advantage. Looking at what he's doing actually in league play right now, 17.6 points, 6.3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.7 steals, shooting 51% from the field, 39% from three. He's just embodied that go-to type scorer who doesn't necessarily have a deficiency in his game. His ability to rebound from the guard position, his ability to create offense, to self-create offense, get to spots on the floor, and his ability to knock down shots. It's been consistent for this Arizona team, who we saw, they dropped 2 this past week, which is probably good for them heading into the future now, so they're not going in undefeated. They already took those losses. But what Braden Berries has done for this team, what he's given them, is a guy down the stretch to get the ball to and to go make a play. With Emmanuel Sharp, I probably would give the nod to Berries here, but gosh, it's really hard for me to look past what Emmanuel Sharp is doing. Obviously, everybody's talking about Kingston Fleming's and his ability on ball, but Sharp's ability to not only pull gravity, but the confidence that Sharp has to also guard at the point of attack has been huge, I think, for this Houston team. He's knocking down shots at almost a 40% clip, but he's also guarding the other team's, able to keep the man in front of him, guard the other team's top perimeter threat, and all that as well. I think what Emmanuel Sharp has done at the 2-guard position, the two-way ability that he brings, being an on-the-ball defender as well as a shot maker, and the physicality and experience that he brings. He's a guy that you want the ball to have in his hands. He's a guy that you want on your team down the stretch to get a win. Those are the two guys that came down to for me. However, I think Braden Berries is the one that I'm giving the nod to right now. If I'm starting a team, Tyler Tanner the one, Braden Berries the 2.
Yeah, I like Emmanuel Sharp, and I also like Berries. One also guy to mention, Ryan Conwell. We talked about him before the show.
Dude.
How fantastic he's been, and I know he tore his ACL, but Richie Saunders has been fantastic too. It was between those three for me that have been super impressive. I got to watch Louisville live last night at SMU. That's the great thing about being in Dallas. I can just drive 20 minutes and watch ACC play. But I really liked how Conwell was playing. Really strong body, scores it, tough as nails. And then Richie Saunders, we know with their 3-point shooting, but also he showed more ability, like attacking closeouts, doing stuff on ball. But we definitely praying for a speedy recovery to Richie Saunders. But he was fantastic prior to the injury at BYU.
Give me Braden Berries, baby.
That's cool. Hey, that's cool. Give me Wagler and A-Cup. I'm good with that. I know I'm gonna win a lot of games. Joe, who do you got?
Hey, you ain't getting no stops, man. But you're gonna be winning. But you're gonna be putting up some points.
Hey, listen. All I need is my 3, 4s, and 5s to be able to use their length and alter some shots at the rim. If they can do that, it's all right. Y'all two go score.
Yeah, my 2 shooting guards would be Keaton Wagler and Braden Berries as well. And I don't know if I can really choose between the 2. They're both fantastic freshmen. I think part of me is the bias of how great of a story is, and we've talked about it before. Keaton Wagler, like nobody expected him to be this good. A freshman 3-star recruit, averaging 18, 5, and 4, shooting 43% from 3 this season. In some of the games, I remember that Purdue game he had 46. I think he made like 9 threes. So just what he's been able to do is fantastic, but that's not to take anything away from Braden Berries, who's like Jamie said, arguably the best player on one of the top 2-3 teams in college basketball. So those are my 2.
Okay. I think small forward, this position is going to be easier than the other two. At that point guard.
Watch Jamie be different. And say
Jamie,
This is a one-person conversation for me.
Oh, but I was about to say it should be. Ani and I were talking before we went live before you joined, Jamie.
Jamie's the only one.
There's no explanation needed for this guy.
Jamie would be the only one that would pick someone different. But I'm
he could not go Tunde Yesufu or something. No disrespect to Tunde, but
okay.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Joshua Jefferson, Iowa State.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he's okay. Ani and I were going to take a different approach.
Yeah, Joshua Jefferson for me, I think the impact that he brings on winning basketball is super unique within what college basketball is. Not only is he one of the better perimeter forward defenders in the country, he's also a primary initiator. Iowa State's able to run their offense through him at different levels of the floor. His processing with the ball in hand, his ability to make a play with the ball in his hand, it's super unique when it comes to a guy who's 6'8" and able to guard all over the floor. He's also able to make up for a lot of deficiencies that he has. Obviously, you see that he plays beside Milan Momcilovic, who's an awesome scorer. Not the most fleet of foot guy out there. So you got Joshua Jefferson, who's able to close things down on that end of the floor. I just think he's a guy who brings so much to the table, and obviously is the central crux of what this Iowa State team is doing as a perennial top 5 team within the country. What he's able to do for that team, the winning qualities he's able to bring for that team, and how he's able to make things flow smoothly around him, I think is super unique within the college basketball game. Obviously, I mean, he leads the Big 12 in box plus minus. He leads the Big 12 in win shares, top 15 in the Big 12 in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. For me, when it comes to that small forward position, somebody who connects everything on the team together, I want Joshua Jefferson. I want his ability to consistently make a play with the ball in his hand to elevate the floor of my team.
Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great pick, Jamie. That's a great pick. Joshua Jefferson has been fantastic.
No, I think Jamie's pick like 5 that he would go win a basketball game with. Like, this is his spot.
I didn't think about it that way.
I'm thinking about the best players in the
I didn't think about like fit, like, hey, let's put a roster together, like let's go.
I'm not trying to put a roster together or anything. I'm just these are my guys that I like. If I'm picking a college basketball team and I get position by position, these are the guys I want. Joshua Jefferson on my team because I think mine will beat yours.
See, he's picking about going. I'm going,
but you're still roster concerned.
College basketball players, who gives you the best chance to win? Who gives you the best chance to win?
Is the best? Who's the best player in their position?
The guy that wins.
I mean, I wasn't even thinking about. I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
I understand,
I wasn't
like
thinking about that as much.
Okay, but
I was just thinking like individually, position by position.
But which guy have we named, Joe, that are losers?
Which guy have we named that? I mean, none. Yeah, we're not going to name
exactly. They're all winning. They're all winning. They're all winning. We haven't picked one kid that's just that's unranked or the team sucks. Not one kid. Go ahead, Joe. Who you got?
When I was looking at small forwards, I mean, I was looking at a quick list, and then I was like, okay, yeah, this is a no-brainer for me. AJ DeBonsa. Yeah, I thought that's where Jamie was going to go. And like you had a great selling point for Joshua Jefferson. Like he's been fantastic, like kind of being like a point forward in a lot of ways for Iowa State. And they've been great. Iowa State's been great. But AJ was my pick. And, leading scorer, averaging 21, 22 a game. Go ahead.
I got AJ1. I had Dalen Swain too. Really like how he's been playing. He's at University of Texas. Really athletic. It was like him and Dabansa, but I have AJ1. But I really like how Swain has been playing at Texas. 17 and 7 in the game. Shooting by 50% from the field, 79% from the free throw line. I know his 3-point percentage is low, but I think he's been better as a shooter. He's really athletic. He's shown improvement as a passer and ball handler. But to me, it was AJ1. I really like Joshua Jefferson. I got to watch him a few times live this season. So, I mean, to Jamie's point, where Joshua just a big wing that can really play make. He's a mismatch problem, especially at the 3 or the 4. Big fan of Joshua Jefferson. I like him I like him a lot in college basketball. I also like him a lot when it comes to the NBA. So I think to me, it was like AJ, Dalen Swain, Joshua Jefferson. 2 and 3 can be interchangeable, but I got AJ one. Just how impressive of a season. I don't have to go a long spiel about AJ Dabanson. We've done that enough, but I have him one. But so Jamie, you have Joshua one. Why do you have him over AJ Dabanson?
I love the not only the two-way ability that he brings, but I think that the versatility that he brings within the flow of an offense. You see what college basketball is going with these days. You have all these different variances of what guys are able to do. Guards, forwards, bigs, and there's a fluidity between what they're able to do, being able to put the ball in the hands of multiple guys on the floor who can create plays for themselves or others is so unique in the game. But also the switchability that he brings on the defensive end of the floor when it comes to the ability to guard up or down a lineup, when it switch down and be a factor at the rim, but also get out in the passing lanes and slide his feet, guard on the floor. The versatility that Joshua Jefferson brings on both sides of the basketball to elevate kind of the floor of the team and flow efficiently. I think it's just astronomical. I think it's unique within the college game today. That's why my thought process when I'm choosing the small forward didn't go further than him.
Yeah. That makes sense. I respect that. So now let's go into the power forward position. Joe, who do you have as the number one power forward in college basketball?
Cam Boozer, plain and simple. You could probably toss a couple other guys in there, like Axel Lindenborg has been phenomenal for Michigan this year. Caleb Wilson's been great. Hopefully he's back soon. But for me, it's Cam Boozer, just similar to Braden Smith. Like what my point about what Braden Smith means to Purdue in the same breath. What Cam Boozer? Imagine Duke this year without Cam Boozer. Like imagine if he went to Florida or Miami or somewhere else. Obviously, they would have probably got another big, but just the impact that he has. He is the main reason, along with Shire's coaching ability, why Duke is so good and so talented this season. So for me, it's Cam Boozer.
Yeah, I have Cam one. I mean, the season that he's having has been fantastic. I think he's been the most consistent, one of the most consistent power forwards that are players in the country, period. And he has a chance to win player of the year. In college basketball. So I have him one. Caleb Wilson has been fantastic. We talked about him, like just how impressive he's been. But I think Cam Boozer is number one. When you talked about Miami, like Malik Reneau has been really, really good. You could even put Joshua Jefferson at the 4 if you wanted to. Like I've seen him play a lot of 4 when at Iowa State as well. Even though with Milan, I can't even say his Montilovich, yes, he'll sometimes really play the 4 while Joshua plays the 3, but you could have him there. But I definitely think this was a Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, kind of 1 and 2 type situation. If you feel like JT Toppin is a 4, I have him more as a 5. Then you put him in there, but I definitely think Cam Boozer is number 1 in college basketball for me. Jamie, what do you got?
Yeah, this was another one of those ones as to where it was a loaded position. But I mean, it was an obvious answer. What Cam Boozer's doing this season, especially when you look at the advanced analytics against his peers, is stuff that we just haven't seen. We just don't see. I mean, he's leading the country in player efficiency. He's leading it in win shares. He's leading it in box plus minus, and especially in win shares and box plus minus, it's not particularly close. Like he's way ahead of the pack when it comes to those on-off metrics, when it comes to those type of things. What he brings to this Duke team, just as Joe said, is everything. They run everything that they do through him. His usage is so high, but his ability, again, I go back to make a play with the ball in his hands. You trust him. Duke runs a lot of their offense through him. They get him lined up at various levels, and he makes the read. He makes the play. You get him on the strong side, posted up in the mid post. You bring that help. He's passing away from the help into the open guy, getting the hockey assist, or even the straight up into the opposing corner assist. His just ability to read the play and read the game and process with the ball in his hand is just off the charts. So you trust him in that way, but then he also produces. He's going to compete and bring it every possession. That he's going to hit the boards and the glass and do all that type of stuff. So where there might be some possible, athletic, I don't want to say athletic deficiencies, but he might not be the best guarding the ball on an island.
Especially like rim protecting.
All these questions that there might be there. What he brings to the table is super valuable to winning basketball games, as we're seeing with what Duke's doing this year, but also what he's doing in the advanced analytic aspect of the game is incredibly unique and against his peers. So I think this was again, the Yaxels of the world and Caleb Wilsons and all that are having great seasons, and I think the power forward position uniquely this season is incredibly talented, but none of them touch what Cam Boozer's been doing.
Right, and you could throw Koa Pete in there. He's had a really good season. Again, praying for a speedy recovery. Well, Koa, Arizona was the #1 team in the country for a minute until they just suffered these 2 losses. So, yeah, the power forward position has been really fantastic in college basketball. Now to the center position. Mention him because some people include him at the 4-man spot, but JT Toppin, I just think what he's been doing this season. I know that he didn't finish the game against Arizona State, and we hope that he's not out for a long time. But JT Toppin has been fantastic this season. He's been the best player at Texas Tech. He's looking like a first-team All-American player. Just everything JT has done from rebounding. We know he's going to go over that right shoulder, but you can't stop him. He's going to finish the rebound. He's blocking shots. JT is just such a productive player, and I'll be honest with you, and we talked about this before, like, he makes everyone around him better because if you just get into his spots or you feed him in a short roll, you throw into the post, that's the easy assist. But he's also cleans up a lot of things on the glass that people's mistakes and stuff like that. So I think JT Toppin's the best center in college basketball. He would be more considered a small ball 5, but no matter if he is, like, he plays like he's 6'11", 7 foot out there. You just can't stop him offensively and defensively in the interior. He does a really good job protecting the rim and really just causing a lot of havoc for those postmen down there. Jamie, what do you got?
JT Toppin, he was under consideration for me too. You got the Morez Johnsons of the world, and there's quite a few of them that I thought about. If I'm choosing a team and I want a center, I want Flory Badunga. What he's done for this Kansas team, I think, especially defensively, he's so unique. What he does on the defensive end, his quick twitch and his anticipation, along with his instincts, are off the charts. His ability to protect the rim, he's averaging over 3 blocks per game, 3.4 blocks per game in Big 12 play. But also he can slide his feet, he can move, he can get in the passing lanes. He's so versatile on the defensive end of the floor, and then also on the offensive end of the floor. He applies so much pressure to the front of the rim. You have to stay attached to him at all times. Again, Big 12 play, shooting over 70% from the field, 14.8 points per game. He's top 15 in the country in block percentage, box plus minus, and player efficiency rating right now. As a guy who you just know what you're going to get from him every single time, every single play down the floor. You know that you're going to get somebody who creates havoc on the defensive end, and also somebody who really pulls gravity as a vertical floor spacer. Somebody you have to stay attached to at all times because you have a primary ball handler for them who gets in the paint. That lob could come at any point in time, and he's going to get his armpits above the rim when it comes to what he brings. But the athleticism that he has, along with the instincts that he has, I think is very unique for a player like him, in the motor, front of the rim, front of the rim, front of the rim, front of the rim. He knows what he is. He knows who he is. And I think what he brings to a team is incredibly valuable. So he would be my choice of center.
That's fair. That Flory's been fantastic this season, especially like even guarding. Sometimes even like on switching and guarding out on the perimeter, he's done a really good job of, even when he gets blown by, just covering ground and alternate shots at the rim. Flory's a really good one. Joe, who do you have?
Yanni, I'm with you. JT Toppin, because I also view him as more of a small ball 5. He's the only high major big outside of Boozer, I believe, that's averaging 20 and 10 this season. And like you already mentioned, just that right shoulder, like it's coming, but you still can't stop it. But I do like the Flory pick as well, because I also typically prefer more athletic bigs and guys that can just like fly around and protect the rim. And but also I think like notable mentions, I think Henry Visar has been phenomenal for Carolina this season, and even Hans Steinbach at Washington, although they're we said we weren't going to mention like losing teams, but regardless, he's been fantastic, averaging 18 and 11 this year. But yeah, my number 1 would be Toppin at the 5 spot.
Grant Ike is another one that's had a pretty good year for Gonzaga so far.
Yeah,
And
good
going
call.
back to point guards, I just wanted to shout it out. I didn't mention the name. I think Silas Demery at UConn is a
He's been
guy
fantastic.
who deserves to be mentioned, especially with the growth that he's had throughout the course of the year.
Sure.
Looking back on things, he would have been probably a top 3 guy for me, but I think Silas Demery deserves to be mentioned
Yeah.
as well, looking back at the point guard spot.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And there's even like you got Maya that's at Michigan. You got Krivich. I mean,
Mahivas Krivas,
yeah,
Yeah,
Krivich.
Mo
He's,
Krivich.
Toby Awaka.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Ruben
you
Tinyelu.
got Chinyalu.
Oh yeah,
He's
good call.
my number 2 because yes, that's my kind of center right there.
Yeah,
Ball goes up,
He's
give
an
me every
MF-er,
single
man.
rebound possible.
yeah, Chinyalu. That's my second favorite center in college basketball, to be honest with you. And I've seen how he guards, how he competes, how he just boxes out, steals, gets rebounds, how like the tenacity that he plays with. Oh, I love him. So the center spot's actually really because the freshman class is really good. Obviously, you know, like the older guys, they're going to be good because they're in college basketball longer. They're more experienced and stuff like that. But I think in doing this and with such a strong freshman class, and I know for me, I think Joe, we picked 4 freshmen out of it, but that just shows how loaded it is. But there's a lot of really good upperclassmen that are playing at a high level, and I think
NIL's the great equalizer.
NIL's a great equalizer, but I think it just goes back to what we even said in the fall, like, you know, in the early season, like college basketball, like the games have been fantastic this season. Like it is a real joy to sit down on a Saturday or on a Tuesday and just watch high level basketball, like 5, 6, 7 games throughout a day. But you know, those are our positional rankings, you would say, guys. Still a lot of guys that didn't make number 1. Still a lot of guys that we may not have mentioned that are some really good college basketball players. And you know what? This may change, you know, after the season. We're gonna come back to this after the season, guys. We're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna keep talking about players as these 5-star players are knocking down their list and they're making commitments. You know, you can check out the Next Gen Pod to get our reaction, to get how they fit into that program and how they're going to impact as a freshman. So we thank again you guys for listening to us for close to an hour. We got dedicated listeners, guys. We got devoted listeners, and I love it. So we appreciate your time. We appreciate you listening to us ramble on about basketball for a whole hour. And next week, you're going to listen to another hour of us rambling on. Appreciate you guys. See you at the next episode.